Hey, Prodigious Trip here, and welcome back to Spoiler Corner. I'm in my corner, and I got Sky and Chase with me. They're going to protect me from the Covenant. And we're on Halo, episode 5, I think, right now. So, it was a lot for this episode. Master Chief, he just found the artifact, the second one. And so Halsey calls in a team to try to extract the artifact from Eridanus. It's a weird name. Anywho, so she gets like an entire like almost like an army together to get this thing out. But in the meantime, Master Chief is talking with Captain Keyes, and he tells him, "Hey, I'm having these memories of Halsey, but she was with me, as a kid before my adoption." And so what Halsey has been telling everyone, all the Spartans and stuff, saying that they were, that they volunteered, that these kids had volunteered for this program, the Spartan program, and that they were not taken from their parents, but that they were just given up, and that I guess the UNSC would have adopted them and stuff like that. And so, but what Master Chief is remembering is that, he was taken as a kid and something else was put in his place. And this is, I guess, supposed to be a big reveal of the whole big twist that the UNSC, or at least Halsey's program for the Spartan program, is that she would kidnap children who possessed at least the some of the traits that she wanted in a Spartan. And so what she would do is she would kidnap these children and replace them with a clone. Now, the clone is defective, so the clone would eventually just die after a couple of days, couple of weeks, or whatever. It would expire. The clones never last. And so, of course, the parents of these kids would just think that, oh, hey, my kid died of, something else, of some random something. And so they would never really realize that their kids were a part of the UNSC and turned into Spartans. And so even Master Chief is just like, he asks Cortana, he's like, you have like all of human knowledge pretty much at your fingertips. Could you find out anything about my adoption or about any of the other Spartans, about how they were, taken to the program? And so everything's been redacted, and Cortana can't find anything. And so she's even kind of like, wow, that's kind of weird. So Master Chief decides that he wants, more answers, and he decides that he's going to touch the artifact. And so he walks up to it, touches it, and again, he starts to realize that, Halsey was one that kidnapped him as a kid, and he goes to attack her, and, Halsey just yells like, Cortana, stop him! And Cortana turns Master Chief off like with a light switch. And sure enough, though, but since he touched the artifact, it sends a signal out into space, and on Magical, the Blessed One, she's actually looking around for where the other artifact was. Since they're at the exact same spot, somehow she was able to feel the energy from the other artifact, and she goes, I know where it is. She, gets this, I don't know, vision or something, or like a feeling, like, I know exactly where that is. And so she and the other Covenant, they, of course, they start showing up, and Master Chief looks at Kai, and he's like, you did something with your hair? And she goes, yeah, I removed my palette. And he goes, when? He's like, well, probably about the same time you removed yours. And then he looks at her and goes, well, you're not fit for combat duty and blah, 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 so go, I can't trust you and blah, blah, whatever. So she's like, well, what about you? You removed yours, so you're pretty much the same as me right now. And Cortana's like, she's got a point. And he's like, just shut up, Cortana. So he's not really agreeing with I can see what he's trying to do, but at the same time, it doesn't really last either, because the Covenant show up and everybody suits up to try to fight them. They're trying to get the artifact into, like, I guess, whatever Halsey's ship is called. I don't know. It's a big one. But Miranda's on a different ship. That's her daughter, which she never even calls her, daughter or mom, whatever. I don't think they have like an actual relationship. So he actually just calls her Halsey or doctor or whatever. her ship is under attack, so you have to go. She's going to try to get to Miranda's ship. On, of course, the Covenant are just laying down fire. Finally, we get like an actual fight scene. I'm like, oh, come on! After like 5 good episodes, I mean, again, it's not a bad show. I like the story and everything, and it's going along fine. But it's just, you're not really just. I don't know. It just, I need more action, And so finally, we get like a whole good, solid chunk of just the Covenant coming, and they're doing the drop pods, they're doing the other ships. You see the Phantom. I can't remember what the other one was called. The Spirit, I guess, is the name of the other ship. They started dropping some of the other, not the elites, but it dropped like the grunts and the jackals and stuff. And so I was like, yes, I need to see more of those guys. Always love them. And so one of like the grunts hijacks the warthog. I thought that was kind of cool. And Master Chief says, "Hey, can I take over?" And just shoots the guy in the face and jumps into the warthog, and gets the other Spartans to jump in and save him. And then Kai gets under attack, and she gets she gets beat up pretty bad. And I don't know if it's like Master Chief saying that he likes her, or if it's just like she's on his team, so he has to like protect her. So like, maybe he feels bad because he told her to stay out of it, but she was ordered to get into the fight. And so I'm not sure if he just feels responsible or not or whatever, but he leaves his post off for the warthog to try to protect her. So what he does is he's like, all right, guys, here, drive a little bit closer to the cliff. So they're on the warthog. So he jumps off of the cliff and onto a flying Banshee. Now, I thought he was going to hijack it, but what he does is he grabs a hold of it and like steers it towards the Phantom and like just blows it up. And I was just like, oh, that was awesome. Like, I mean, just, you needed to see that. I need this action. I needed even the Paw Patrol needed that. You know what I mean? Oh man, it was good. And so, takes out the Phantom, and then it's like, all the grunts and the jackals, they just like wake up. Like it was just like a big explosion. Of course, I think there's, Marines and stuff dead, but none of the jackals and the grunts, they just get up because that wasn't big of an explosion, whatever. And so Master Chief sees that there's a ship coming in down to, pick up the artifact. And right in front of it, boom, drops a brute with a hammer. And sure enough, too, I mean, he just smacks Master Chief like nice. And he even picked up one of the Jackal's like shield things. And he tried to use it, and it just knocked him away because it's like, the hammer is a really powerful weapon. And so he tries to use I think it was a battle rifle to try to shoot it down, but he couldn't, and they ended up taking the artifact. And during the fight, Miranda was trying to evacuate her ship, and Halsey actually came and rescued her. Like, hey, let me help you, and tries to get her up. So you actually see Halsey showing some kind of emotion for somebody else other than herself or for Master Chief. So I thought that was kind of nice. Of course, Captain Keyes, this whole time he was listening to Master Chief talk about, like, I think Halsey's been lying to me and stealing, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you know what, I'll personally look into this, I promise you. And of course, the whole time, like, they show the flashback too of Halsey and Captain Keyes, like when John was a kid. And so I'm just like, yeah, Captain Keyes is not gonna keep his promise. And so then he tells Miranda too that he doesn't want her working on the what's it called, project, the artifact. I think she knows that it's supposed to lead them to the Halo ring, but again, she's not given the opportunity to observe certain things. And when she thinks she was able to help out, her dad comes in and says, I want you off this, and you're not going to be a part of it. So she's just getting pushed around left and right. It sucks to be her. So it just ends with a drop pod with the Blessed One. She goes, make it look real. I guess they either beat her up or something, maybe, too, to make it look real. And so she's shot down in a drop pod. And she just looks at Master Chief and just passes out. And he's like, what? Cortana's like, hey, I think it's a human. And so that's just kind of how it just ends. But back on Madrigal, Soren is still trying to deal with Quan over here. He's trying to get to a ship, but the bike that they're on breaks down. So he handcuffs her to the bike and then takes off, says, I'm going to get us some more wheels. So, again, this really wasn't really necessary for this episode either, because it just shows her, like, throwing a temper tantrum. Like, I'm stuck to this bike. And so he goes, gets a car, comes back. She had broken free of the bike, and he's just looking around. All of a sudden, she sneaks up behind him and zaps him with, like, I don't know, some kind of, like, taser, and knocks him out. And that's how the episode ends, is with the, Master Chief looking at this blessed one. It looks like Miley Cyrus wannabe. And Soren just, again, I could care less about the magical stuff or whatever, but the main story with Master Chief is going pretty good. I do like that. I like how Cortana's interacting with him and how she can actually control him. That she can turn off his mind or turn him off. Again, I don't mind if they're deviating from the lore of the game at all. In the game, Cortana is basically on a microchip that you put into the back of your helmet, and she can still hologram herself everywhere, so at least other people can see her. But the whole point of it is that she can be removed with just, hey, let me just take out the microchip and put it into another system, and she can activate it. Here, she can activate stuff with, like, I don't know, super Wi-Fi or something that she has. So, but she's, implanted into his head. So it's not too far from what it, from the game and all. But, I mean, I don't mind it. I have no problem with that she can do all that. It does come into play later on of, like, the full story of why she can do all of that. But for the most part, Halsey was, she's still trying to convince the upper people, I don't know, of the UNSC, trying to tell them that, Master Chief is under control because Cortana's in his head now. So technically I can control Cortana and she can control him. But because he keeps having all these memory flashes and stuff, they're questioning his, I don't know, either his loyalty or just, hey, he's having like an identity crisis. We really can't, afford to just have a Spartan, walking around saying, like, I remember this from when I was a kid. So, but I guess it's supposed to be this big reveal or big secret because the show, I mean, they're still talking, like, it does come up. So, it's not like I'm, again, spoilers if you didn't realize what Spoiler Corner was for, but it's just, again, if you're watching the show for the first time or if you've never seen the Legends thing or anything about the Spartans, then yeah, that's how they've been. It's basically exactly from what the game was and stuff too, and from the Legends movie was, they showed like, this is what happens to the Spartans. They were kidnapped as children, replaced by clones, and then, this is how they're, and then augmented and, souped up for, fighting and stuff. So it's not, like, all that's actually just canon and stuff. So the only thing that's deviated a little bit from the game is the fact that Cortana is now implanted in a microchip into his brain instead of a chip that could be removed from his helmet. That's pretty much all that's different so far. I think a little stuff about Halsey, like having a daughter and stuff and all that, and having a relationship with Keyes. I think that's also different. But it's nitpicking, so it's not too bad. I have no problem with that at all. So that was Halo episode 5. I think it was called The Reckoning. So yeah, so we'll stick around and we'll see about the next episode. So I'm Prodigious Trip. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Bye.